Hello Year 6 and welcome to Wednesday's writing lesson. Just a quick reminder before we start this lesson that the Kahoot quiz is still open until 5 o'clock today. So I'll be letting you know in the next lesson how you all got on with the quiz, because I can see the stats and the results to see who's taken part and who's managed to answer all the questions correctly. Okay, so don't forget about that. Now, our LO for the lesson today is to use cause conjunctions. Before I explain what they are, have a little think. What is a cause conjunction? Does the word cause help explain what it might mean?
Okay, so well done if you said that a cause conjunction explains a reason for something or a reason why something happens. Conjunctions like as a result of and because, they do just that. They explain why something has happened. A way I like to remember that is if you take a little look at the word because, you can see that the root word in because is cause. Yeah, so that helps me remember that because is a cause conjunction. And then if you ask yourself the question why did that happen? Why did she do this? Then the answer always starts with because, doesn't it? So because cause conjunctions explain the reasons why something has happened. So let's have a little read through these examples. So we've got as a result of, because of, consequently, that means the same as a result of, due to the fact, on account of, thus, that's a very fancy one, and resulting in. These all do the same thing. They all explain the reason for something else.
So for your Spark Starter today, we're going to play a game. Now, I've prepared what I'd like you to do in my book, so I'll just show you what I would like you to recreate in your books. But first of all, before I do that, make sure that you've got something to write with and something to write on. Off we go, right. So here we go. I've made a noughts and crosses grid with lots of examples of those cause conjunctions we've just been talking about. So I'd like you to draw a grid like this in your book. It needs to have 9 boxes, as you usually do with noughts and crosses. It doesn't matter if the lines aren't completely straight. You can use a ruler if you've got one, or you could fold your paper to create your lines, or if they're a little bit squiggly, it doesn't really matter. The important thing is that you've got your 9 boxes and that you copy, zoom in a little bit more, these conjunctions. So we've got because, due to the fact, since, consequently, because of, due to, thus, thanks to, and which means. Pause the video now and make sure you copy those down.
Right, so now that you've got your noughts and crosses grid drawn on your piece of paper, you're going to need to have a little think back to that lesson on Friday where you thought of the reasons why you would be a good spy. Okay, if you've still got that on a piece of paper, go and take a little look at it because you'll need to have those ready in your mind to do this activity. I've put some ideas on the screen here for inspiration. So you've got James Bond sprinting to the scene of the crime. Obviously, he'd need to have excellent and high levels of fitness to be able to sprint so quickly. We've got Q there in the bottom right. He's a master with technology because he has to create different technological devices for the spies to use out on their mission. So he has to be very creative and very good at technology to be able to create all these different gadgets.
So it's up to you. You can play this game with a partner. So that could be a brother or a sister or your adult at home, as long as they're not too busy. Or you could even play it on your own. Now, with the noughts and crosses, I'm sure you've played this before, but the aim of the game is for each person to decide whether they're going to be noughts or crosses, and then you need to try and get your symbol, so I'm going to go with noughts, in each of the diagonal boxes or each of the vertical boxes or in each of the horizontal boxes. So you need to get 3 of your symbol in a row, basically, to show that you've won. Okay, but where do the conjunctions come into it? Well, you can only draw your symbol on a square if you manage to say a sentence using one of these conjunctions. Now, ideally, I'd like you to link these conjunctions and your sentences to reasons why you would be a good spy. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm going to start with because. So before I draw my symbol, I'm going to say my sentence. I think I would be a good spy because I enjoy running. So that means I will be able to run quickly to be able to get myself out of tricky situations. Okay, so I can put my nought there. Now, for the person who's crosses, they might decide to try and stop me from getting 3 in a row. So they might go for due to the fact, and you might say, I think I would make a good spy due to the fact that I complete lots of Sudoku puzzles. Okay, and then you put your cross in. Okay, go and do that now then.
Right, so I hope you got on well with that activity. I hope you had lots of fun coming up with all those different sentences, and they'll be very useful for you now that you've practiced, because you'll be able to use those in your letters of application that we will be starting today. So what's the bigger picture? Well, your cause conjunctions are going to be very useful in your letters of application, because when you're completing a letter of application, you want to be able to explain to the person you're applying to, why you deserve to have that job. So key vocabulary is complex sentence, cause conjunctions, and explain. So those are the examples of the conjunctions again. I would like you to come back to this slide once we've started writing and pause, because this will act like a little bit of a word map for you. So you'll be able to take a look at these conjunctions and they will help you with your writing. Okay, now it's my turn. I'm going to show you how to use these to start off your letters of application. So before we start writing, here's just a quick reminder about how to set out your formal letter. So in the yellow here, we've got your address, so that needs to go on the top right-hand side of your page. Then you need to leave a line and write the date. And then in pink, you need to write the address of the person you're sending your letter to. So that will be MI6. I'll show you an example address for that in a minute. And that, if you leave a line after writing your date and then go over to the left-hand side of your page, you can write that address there. And then in blue here, we've got your formal greeting. And it's very important to remember, after you've written your formal greeting and you put your comma, you leave a space underneath your greeting and you start your first line underneath the comma for the greeting. Just stay. Okay, that's why I've underlined my in blue. So I'm going to have a go at writing my own introduction now. Just a quick note on the introduction. Here are some things that you need to include. Notice how I've used a colon to introduce bullet points in a list. Your introduction needs to include the reason you are writing. So why are you writing to MI6? And then in brief, so in short, what skills can you bring to the table? So you might just want to include a sentence describing what kinds of skills you can bring to MI6 that would make you a benefit, an asset to their team.
Right, there we go. Now I've done my introduction, I can move on to my first paragraph, giving all the reasons why I would be such a fantastic spy. So let's read this first before we go on. Dear Agent P, I'm writing to inquire about the recent opening for the position of International Person of Mystery in the MI6 organisation. If given this opportunity, I could certainly show the determination and cunning you require of a spy. Okay, so I'm going to start with one of my time adverbs. So to begin. Now remember, to start a new paragraph, you need to move on to the next line and line up the beginning of your sentence with that first line after the greeting. So to begin, I am well trained in communication. But why? Why am I well trained in communication? I've got to give an example. So I need to use one of those cause conjunctions. Can you think of one that I could use? Well, I'm going to use due to the fact that I can speak lots of different languages. So I'm going to put I can speak English, French, remembering my capital letters for names of different languages, and I'm using commas for a list here, so I can speak English, French, German, and Welsh, just in case I need to go back to Wales and use my Welsh on any of my spy missions. And then I need to put a full stop. So I'm going to add a little bit more detail to this. Do you know what? In green, I'm just going to underline that cause conjunction that I've used there so you can see. So if you needed, I've just given myself that idea there, haven't I? If you needed, make a spelling mistake or a mistake with your handwriting, just put a neat line through your word. So if, oh, do you know what? Seeing as I've crossed it out, can we up level needed? I think I could use require, couldn't I? If you require, always think about up leveling your vocabulary. If you required me to move to a foreign, now remember what type of word is foreign, it's a year 5-6 word, isn't it? Well done. To move to a foreign country, comma there, because if, we've started the sentence with if, which is one of our subordinating conjunctions. If you required me to move to a foreign country, then I could easily speak to the natives. So that is the people who live in those countries. Okay, then I might want to use another conjunction or another conjunctive adverb to add extra information. So in addition, so I'm being very persuasive here, I'm adding another reason why they should employ me as a spy. I enjoy, what do I enjoy doing? Playing Scrabble. In my spare time. Why would that make me good at being a spy? Remember, I can't just give a reason. I've got to give evidence. I've got to explain, give a reason why. In addition, I enjoy playing Scrabble in my spare time. Could I add a cause conjunction at the beginning of my sentence? Yeah, so because of this, so I'm really explaining here, aren't I? Because of this, my brain is capable of problem solving. And thinking on the spot. Okay, so there we go, I've started my letter.
So now it's your turn. So here are your chilies. So the LO, don't forget, is to use cause conjunctions to explain. So chili 1, you're going to try and use the conjunction because to explain the reasons why you would be a good spy. Chili 2, you're going to use at least 3 cause conjunctions from the table. So remember, go back and pause the video when you see the pause button. And that word mat, use 3 of those cause conjunctions to explain the reasons why you would make a good spy. And chili 3, you're going to do chili 2 as well, and then try and use a variety of sentence types. So simple sentences, compound sentences, remember those sentences using fanboys conjunctions, and complex sentences. And could you also include an if and a then sentence? So the one I used was, if you required me to move to a foreign country, then I could easily speak to natives. There we go. You should be feeling quite confident now to be able to start your letters of application. Remember to write your introduction, use the example that I showed you. You can magpie some ideas from that. And then your second paragraph explaining all the fantastic reasons why you would make such an awesome spy. Okay, good luck, agents, and I can't wait to read the first few paragraphs of your letter. Off you go and good luck.